What is the difference between zakat and donations? Zakat goes to very specific individuals. Donations can go to anyone, and it can go to organizations. Can you give zakat to Christian organizations? No, but you can give sadaqah, you can give charity.
Can an object be considered a mahar, such as a ring? Yes, it can be considered mahar. Are engagements permissible in Islam? Engagements are permissible, so I think it's important to qualify this a little bit on what we mean by engagements. The Sharia is silent on engagements, right? The Sharia doesn't talk about engagements or this type of promise that happens in many different cultures. Saying that, there's nothing wrong with having that promise if there's a good reasoning behind it. So, for example, you will have people who want to wait until they graduate so that they have financial stability and they get a job. So this is why they have that. But in the meantime, the families both think that they're suitable spouses for each other. So they think, hey, listen, let's make this promise so that eventually, inshallah, when we get to that point, we can marry them off. And that's something that's completely reasonable. I don't see a problem with that. Some cultures do something called the Katb al-Kitab. Katb al-Kitab is basically they're essentially married, right? They're married, but they're not allowed to be intimate until the actual wedding, right? So until different cultures have different things. So like different cultures, they'll have a Katb Kitab, and then there'll be like a Malika, and then there'll be like other different events depending on the culture that you're a part of. For youth, some of them they'll be like, okay, well, why? What is the point of this? If we're married, why can't we be intimate? The reason for that is financial mainly. So for example, if a Katb Kitab happens between a young man and a young woman, the reason that they can't be intimate is because the woman is still essentially the father's responsibility, meaning all of the financial burden will still fall on the father. If she gets into an accident, if la samahullah something happens to her, right, any of the financial burden or expenses, they still fall on the father, which is why they delay them living together. And also, in the meantime, if she gets pregnant, who's going to pay for the pregnancy, right? There are many things that come into play, and I think sometimes we as parents, we fail to express that to our children, saying that, oh, this is how it was done, or no, this is how it is culturally, or no, you have to wait. Okay, yes, like all of those are fine, but we have to explain the reasonings too on why we're delaying. And if we explain to our children, all right, this is the reason. And I've had couples come in to me and they'll be like, what's the issue? Like, we're getting married, we're going to be husband and wife. I said, yes, you will. There's no doubt about that. And I'll turn to the guy and I'll be like, okay, if she gets hurt tomorrow, who's going to pay? What's going to happen? Can you afford? I said, if she needs to move are you ready to take her into your home today? And if the answer is no, then okay, then you're not ready for that full responsibility, which is why you're given a partial responsibility. And not just that, let Allah within that time frame, something or whatever happens, the effect of a separation at that point is significantly less versus if there's a child that's involved. So it's important to understand who the financial responsibilities fall on and how to kind of deal with those particular issues. I used the DH zakat calculator and my zakat came out to zero after I put my monthly mortgage in. Is that correct? Set an appointment with me. Inshallah, we can sit down and talk about how to calculate the zakat. Is it permissible for a woman to enter the masjid and musalla during her cycle, to sit in the back and to listen to the imam? There is a difference of opinion on this. The majority of the madhab, they say no, but there is an opinion that says it is permissible. If 3 to 5 sisters are praying in jama'ah, should the one leading the salah stand in front or to the far left? She should stand in the middle. She should stand in the middle, and the other women will be to her left and to her right. A couple of days ago, there was a question about saying Salah Ibrahimiyya during the first tashahhud. What was the answer? It was too loud to hear. Salah Ibrahimiyya should only be said in the final tashahhud. Right? Salah Ibrahimiyya should only be said in the final tashahhud. If a person says it by accident in any other of the jalsas, in any of the sitting positions, the salah is still valid, but it should only be said in the last. During salah after the Fatiha, is it required to read other surahs according to the order in the Quran? In general, yes. In general, yes, but it is disliked to go out of order. It is disliked to go out of order. Can you please stress the importance of keeping the line straight during the salah? The sisters always seem to mess that up. Sisters, there are lines on the ground. Please try to do your best to follow them and stand as close to the person next to you as possible. Assalamu alaikum, Ustad Sheikh. My parent has been very aggressive verbally and physically and extremely violent toward his spouse and children for a long time. We've done everything in our power as far as parents' obedience goes to the Quran. Did I or any family member commit a sin by leaving him temporarily or forever? Again, these situations are very specific. I'm sorry that you had to go through that abuse, but again, I would suggest you make an appointment with myself or with Sheikh Shakir or with Shaheen so that we can talk more about the issue. You can make an appointment through our website. Thank you in advance for your time, and may Allah grant you the highest level of Jannah, inshallah. Ameen. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. I've worked in a very dangerous environment where you need to watch murders, killers, drugs, rapists, all kinds of criminals. I had trouble practicing. What do you advise me? Anything that is affecting your deen, then it's important for you to figure out ways to navigate those situations. So if you are having difficulty in navigating these particular situations where you see these things and you feel your deen decreasing, then it's very important for an individual in those situations to figure out what is happening and why that's happening. Again, even in this situation, talk to someone who can help you with that. So this is exactly what an imam is supposed to do in terms of spiritual counseling and help people with their relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Again, I would advise you the same thing that I advised the people before. Make an appointment, inshallah. And saying, I know that some people have expressed, oh, well, why do I need to make an appointment? Well, because the imams aren't here 24 hours a day. They don't, like nobody lives in their office. And if they're spending all their time in the masjid, guess who they're not spending time with? Their families. And that's not fair. Everybody wants to spend time with their families. As far as I'm aware, Al-Hijrah is the only masjid, like in North America, that has an appointment system for the imams, where people can come in and you can have your time to sit down and talk to them. I get appointments, not just nationally, I get appointments sometimes internationally. I've had people make appointments from Bangladesh. I've had people make appointments from Denmark. I don't know how, like they found it, but I'm just saying that this service is one that should be commended, and I'm very happy and I'm very proud that Al-Hijrah offers this service, not just to the community here, but like I get phone calls from Tennessee, from Texas, right, with all of the masajid and all the things that are going on, from New York City, with all the masajid that they have there. People are still making appointments at Al-Hijrah to speak to us and to talk to us. Why is that? Because it is a service that is unique. I get phone calls from Florida, like New Jersey, all over the place. Again, it is a service that is meant to facilitate and is meant to make it easy for the community. When we have an appointment system, it allows us to respect your time and it allows our time also to be respected. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us tawfiq.